Ya Rasulullah, Ya Nabi Allah, Qutil al-Husainu bi Karbala. Ya Habib Allah, Ya Nabi Allah, Zubih al-Husainu bi Karbala. Qutil al-Husainu bi Karbala. What was yesterday, what has become today? Yesterday at this time, the family of Imam Hussein were fully protected. The family of Imam Hussein went through that journey from Medina to Makkah, all the way to Iraq. The journey was long. There were many difficulties, but Imam Hussein and his family, they were given the best treatment so that they should not feel any kind of discomfort. That was all along up to yesterday. For the protection of the ladies and the tents, Imam Hussein had built a trench all over the area that was behind the tents of the ladies. And at night he had actually asked the Sahabas to bring all the tents and put them together in such a way so that if there was to be an attack from the army of Yazid, the ladies and the children would be fully protected. And this was the effort all along. Even after all the martyrs, all the supporters of Imam Hussein had been martyred, all of them, Imam Hussein himself would run hither and thither on his horse, protecting the family, so that whatever happens in his lifetime, he should not see any harm coming to his family. And then it happened. What happened? Before we say what happened, I don't have even strength to say what happened. The horse of Imam Hussein came towards the tent and it was making some sound. It was neighing. Imam al-Baqir says that in that sound, the horse was consoling the family of the Prophet. It was telling them, Zalima, this community who call themselves Muslim have martyred Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein, every time whenever he was going to the battlefield, he was coming back. This time when the horse came, some of the ladies and the children thought that Imam Hussein had come back to see them. When they came out, they saw that Zuljana was without his rider. Sakina, the daughter of Imam Hussein, comes forward and asks, Oh Zuljana, where is my father, Zuljana? When you went to the battlefield, you took my father. Where did you leave my father? It is at that time that it became dark, and the water from Furat began to rise, and there was so much tumult. There was strange things happening in Karbala. Angel called out from the heaven, Allah kad kutil al-Husainu bi Karbala, Allah kad zubih al-Husainu bi Karbala. Hussein has been martyred. And what did happen after that? When the Prophet had returned from the battle of Uhud, when he came back, his uncle Hamza had been martyred. The Prophet stood in the streets of Medina. Wa Hamza! Wa Hamza! He was doing matam. But there was sorrow in his face. Some people found out that the Prophet was feeling that people were all mourning, crying for their martyrs, but they had forgotten about the martyrdom of Hamza. Therefore the Prophet was sad. When people came to know this, they all went to the house of Hamza to weep for Hamza. When the Prophet saw this, he was happy and he prayed for them. When the Battle of Mu'tah took place, and when the news of Ja'far was mentioned that he had been martyred, the Prophet himself went to the house of Ja'far. He saw the wife of Ja'far, Asma bint Umays, and gave his condolences. Oh Asma, Ja'far has been martyred. And then Imam called the children of Ja'far. He put his hands on their heads and said, oh my children, your father has been martyred, but I am your father from today. I will take care of you. And then the Prophet laid down this principle, and that was he sent food in the house of Ja'far for 3 days, so that those who lost their dear ones should not have that time, they don't have time to prepare food for themselves. Therefore, you take care of them. And this became the sunnah of the Prophet and became a practice among the Muslims. But what happened on that night of Sham-e Ghariba? Muslims forgot about the tradition of the Prophet. As soon as Imam Hussein had been martyred, Shamr bin Jawshan looked at his soldiers and told them, what we could not do when Hussein was alive and when his supporters were alive, now we will do that. Go into these tents and take away everything that you want to take away from them. Just think of this for a moment. These are the members of the family of the Prophet. These were the ones who had been protected up to this moment. These are the ladies and children whom Imam Hussein had personally guarded up to this morning. Suddenly, these soldiers come into their tents. Just think of what might have happened to these ladies. Everything was taken away from them, other than the clothes that they had on their bodies. Everything else was taken away, including their hijab was taken away from them. Not only that, having looted them, now they set fire to the tents, so that all the family of Ahlul Bayt should burn to ashes. Ladies and children were running from one tent to the other. Ultimately, all the tents were on fire. The ladies came to Zainul Abidin and asked him, Yabna Rasulillah, you are the Imam of the time. Now there is a position where we either go out into the battlefield, run over the places without our hijab, or should we stay inside and burn to ashes? What is your ruling? Imam told them, at this particular time, it is wajib for you to save your lives. You get out of this tent. Just think of these ladies coming out of the tent. The tent is on fire. The army of Yazid are everywhere with their spears hitting these ladies. Fatima Kubra, the daughter of Imam Hussein, narrates that one of the soldiers started running after me. I was running and he came after me. And he took his spear anger, he took away my hijab. I fell down. He saw anklets on my leg. He told me, give those anklets to me. I pleaded to him. I said, these are given to my father. These are the signs of my father that I have with me. He said, give it to me. Fatima Kubra said, I removed it. As I was giving to him, he was crying. I said, Ya Sheikh, you are taking away my anklets and you are crying? He says, yes, I cry to see the position in which you have become now. But if I don't take this, somebody else will do that. Fatima Kubra said, the pain was such that I lost my consciousness. When I opened my eyes, I saw my head in the laps of my Aunt Kulsum. I complained to her. I say, oh my heart, I do not have my hijab on my head. Kulsum, look at me. She said, oh Fatima, I also have lost my hijab. Sham Ghariba, as the tents are burning, children are running all over the places. There is one child from the family of Aqil, the son of Abu Sayyid, Aqil. This child comes out, doesn't know what to do. The mother is somewhere. The child is running. One of the soldiers of Yazid sees the child, goes close to him, hits him with his sword. The child is beheaded. When the mother comes, what she sees is the head of the child. Everywhere the children are running. Zainab, the daughter of Ali, is trying to put together all the children, is trying to put all the ladies together. Zainul Abidin used to say after the event of Karbala that whenever I see my aunt, whenever I see my family, I can't help crying, thinking of that night and the situation in which they were, and I could not help them. Then, after some time, Zainab, the daughter of Ali, manages to take all the children and the ladies who were there, put them together, and then she started counting. She saw several children were missing. She went out looking for the children. She comes at one place. She saw her two children hugged each other and sleeping on the ground. She told her sister, Kulsum, let's come here close. Let's slowly and gently wake these child up, lest they be frightened. When they come close to the children, Kulsum touches the hands of the child. She screams and cries, oh my sister Zainab, this child have already passed away. When they checked, they saw that these children had been trampled by horses. Then there are some children who are missing. Two children from the family of Muslim ibn Aqil, Mohammed and Ibrahim, were kidnapped and taken to Kufa. Zainab puts all the children together, all the ladies together, and then suddenly she sees Fidda, the maid of the house. She is crying and weeping and beating herself. Zainab asks her, oh Fidda, why are you crying so much and beating yourself so much? Otherwise, oh Fidda, you have always controlled yourself. What is going on? He says, oh my mistress, don't ask me. Don't ask me. You want me hear what I'm going to tell you. She says, no, Fizza. Tell me what it is. She says, as I was moving around trying to look for children, the lost children, I saw one person coming from the tent of Umar ibn Saad. He was crying. I asked him, Ya Sheikh, you killed the children of Fatima and now you are crying. He says, oh lady of the house of Fatima, do not ask me what I have seen and what I have heard. Fizza says, I asked him, what is it that you saw? What is it that you heard? He says, Umar ibn Saad has asked 10 people to take their horses and to trample on the body of Hussein. Oh Fizza, at that time, the soldiers who belonged to the tribe of Hur, they came forward and said that if Hur is trampled, then we will not be able to go in our communities. Therefore, Hur must be spared. Umar ibn Saad said, yes, spare him, remove his body. Then those who are from the Qabila of Habib ibn Madahir, they came forward and said, Habib should not be trampled. Umar ibn Saad said, remove him. Then those who are from the family of Zuhair ibn Kain, he came forward and his body was also removed. Oh Fizza, everybody's body has been removed. None of them was there to say Hussein is the grandson of the Prophet. Fizza, very soon Hussein's body is going to be trampled. Oh my mistress, so I didn't want to tell you. And this is what happened. 10 horses and the body of Sayyid al-Shuhada in Ziyarat of Nahya that you have read, you would have heard. Imam Zamana says, oh my grandfather, whose every bone in the body was crushed by horses. This is that night of Shami Ghariba. Zainab then looks around. Sakina is missing. Zainab remembers at the time when my brother was going forever. He told me, Zainab, I'll take care of Sakina. She is very much fond of me. She will miss me very much. Zainab cannot see Sakina. Where is Sakina? Kulsum and Zainab moved towards the battlefield looking for Sakina. Ultimately, they saw her near a body. She is embracing it and crying. Zainab asked her, oh Sakina, whose body is this? How did you recognize this body? She says, when I came out of the Khaima, I was calling out, oh my father, oh my father, this is Sakina. When is it that Sakina called you and you did not reply her? Oh my aunt, I heard a voice coming from this body. Oh my daughter, come here, come here. This is my father's body. Zainab goes forward, lifts the body of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Because every time a martyrdom took place, Imam Hussein would lift the body of that martyr towards the sky. Ya Allah, accept this martyrdom. It was Hussein's body now that was lying on the ground. Zainab lifted the body of Hussein. Ya Allah, accept this last sacrifice from Fatima's house. Then he tells Sakina, let us go back. She says, my father is alone. Oh my auntie, my father is alone. Let me be here. Zainab takes Sakina back to the tent. The forces of Yazid now are telling Umar ibn Saad that these ladies and children have been without water for 3 days. They will die. We will not be able to take them to Kufa as prisoners. Therefore, supply them with some food, supply them with some water, so that they should survive for tomorrow. home. Umar ibn Asad arranges some water and food to be sent to these ladies of Ahlul Bayt. Just think about it for a moment. When water came, what Rabab must have felt. My son Ali Asghar, up to the last moment, I did not have his thirst quenched. His father took him to the battlefield and he could not quench his thirst. It is said, those who Marcias say that at that time water was first offered to Sakina. She asked, why are you giving this water to me? They said, you are the youngest among us, therefore you drink this water. Those who write Marcia say, then Sakina took that vessel of water, went towards Katlaga. Wa As-Zahra! Wa As-Zahra! Wa As-Zahra! Oh my brother Asghar, now we have water, come, I will quench your thirst. This is now that situation in Karbala. Zainab finally manages to put all the ladies and whoever was saved among the children together. This is the time when now she tells them, oh ladies, this is the night today. Hussein is not there, Abbas is not there, Qasim is not there, but don't fear, Zainab is here. She will take care of you. Zainab is standing there. What Hussein used to do, what Abbas used to do, now Zainab is doing, moving from here to there, making sure that the ladies are safe. It is at that moment, in that situation, Zainab has a vision. She sees that there is one rider on a horse, covered his face and coming towards where they were. She goes forward and tells the person who is riding, Ya Sheikh, there is nothing that is left with us now. What are you coming to take from us? We don't have anything. I had difficulties to get all the ladies and children together. Whatever you want, you can come tomorrow. Let them rest now. The rider keeps on coming forward. Zainab comes forward, takes her head, put on the horse's saddle and tells, Ya Sheikh, now that if you take one step more, don't think that we are alone. We have protectors. I will call my father. I will call Ali. He will come and help us. And the rider removes his cover. Zainab, your father came without you calling him. Zainab then might have asked him, oh father, you came too late, my father. Father. Qasim. Hey, his body was trampled, father. Oh, Father, Ali Akbar, he was lying down on the ground. His old father had to remove a spear from his chest. Oh, Father, where were you at that time? Oh, Father, Ali Asghar was slaughtered in the hands of his father. Oh, my father, Hussein, mother, how much used to take care of him. My mother, how much she loved Hussein. And that Hussein has been martyred. His body has been trampled upon. Father, Imam replied, Zainab, we were present. We saw that happen. But we did not do anything going according to the laws that have been set aside. Zainab, now go and rest. For tomorrow it is going to be very hard for you. This majlis is over. But there is one thing that I must say. The Prophet, when he was alive, he wept for Hamza. He waited for Jafar. He waited for his children when they passed away. All the time. Hussein was at him. He embraced Hussein. Hussein was still alive. Hussein was minni and ana Hussein minni wa ana min al-Hussein. Hussein was still alive. Today Hussein was martyred. What happened to the Prophet? Ziyarat-e-Nahiya. When you read today, a part of it we are told, angels came to him and told him, Ya Rasulullah, your son has been killed. Ya Fatima, your son has been killed. Ya Ali, your son has been killed. Umm Salama was sleeping in Medina. Imam Hussein had told her, oh aunt, oh my grandmother, the soil that my grandfather has given to you, look at it all the time. That will tell you about my position. Oh my grandmother, so far as that soil remains soil, know that your Hussein is alive. Oh grandmother, the day you see some changes in that soil, know that your Hussein has been martyred. Salama, always after Imam Hussein had left, she would always pray for the safety of Imam, and then she would look at the soil. The soil was still the soil. The clay was still the clay. On the day of Ashur, after the prayers of Az-Zahra, she was having a nap. She saw the Prophet in her dreams. The Prophet appeared to her. He was barefooted. There was no abba. There was no kaba. His beard was full of dust and blood. Salama asked him, Ya Rasulullah, what is this position that I see of you? Salama, he said, Salama, they slaughtered my son. Salama, this blood that you see is the blood of Hussein. Salama opened her eyes, went to see that soil. She saw a fresh blood coming out of the soil. Wa Muhammada, wa Husaina, O people of Medina, my Hussein has been slaughtered. My Hussein has been slaughtered. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
घबराएगी ज़ैनब, घबराएगी ज़ैनब, भैया तुम्हें घर जा के कहाँ पाएगी ज़ैनब, घबराएगी ज़ैनब। कैसा ये भरा घर हुआ, बर्बाद इलाही, क्या आई तबाही। अब इसको नाबाद कभी पाएगी ज़ैनब, घबराएगी ज़ैनब। घर जाके किसे देखेगी دیکھے گی قاسم ہے نا عباس، اکبر سے بھی ہے آس، اپنے علی اصغر کو کہاں پائے گی زینب، گھبرائے گی زینب، پوچھیں گے جو سب لوگ کے بازو پہ ہوا کیا، یہ نیل ہے کیسا، کس کس کو نشان رسی کے دکھلائے گی زینب، گھبرائے گی زینب، پھٹ جائے گا بس دیکھ کے ہی گھر کو کلیجا، یاد آؤ کہ بھیا دل ڈھونڈے گا تم کو، تو کہاں پائے گی زینب، گھبرائے گی زینب، بے پردہ ہوئی قید بھی خواہر نے اٹھائی، پر موت نہ آئی، کیا جانیے کیا کیا ابھی دکھ پائے گی زینب، گھبرائے گی زینب۔
سلام خاک نشینوں پہ سوگواروں کا، غریب پہ دیتے ہیں پرسہ تمہارے پیاروں کا، سلام ان پہ جنہیں شرم کھائے جاتی ہے، کھلے سروں پہ اسیری کی خاک آتی ہے، سلام ان پہ جو زحمت کشے سلاسل ہے، مصیبتوں میں امامت کی پہلی منزل ہے، سلام بیچتے ہیں اپنی شاہزادی پر کہ جس کو سونپ گئے مرتے وقت گھر سرور، مسافرت نے جسے بے بسی یہ دکھلائی، نثار کر دیے بچے نہ بچ سکا بھائی، اسیر ہو کے شامیوں کے نرغے میں، حسینیت ہے سکھانا علی کے لہجے میں، سکینہ بی بی تمہارے غلام حاضر ہیں، بجھے جو پیاس تو اشکوں کے جام حاضر ہیں، یہ سین یہ حشر یہ صدمے نئے نئے بی بی، کہاں پہ بیٹھی ہو خیمے تو جل گئے بی بی، پہاڑ رات بڑی دیر ہے سویرے میں، کہاں ہو شام غریبہ کے گپ اندھیرے میں، زمین گرم یتیمی کی سختیاں بی بی، وہ سینہ جس پہ کہ سوتی تھی اب کہاں بی بی، جناب مادر بے شیر کو بھی سب کا سلام، عجیب وقت ہے کیا دے تسلیوں کا پیام، ابھی کلیجے میں ایک آگ سی لگی ہوگی، ابھی تو گود کی گرمی نہ کم ہوئی ہوگی، نہیں اندھیرے میں کچھ سوچتا کہاں ڈھونڈے، تمہارا چاند کہاں چھپ گیا کہاں ڈھونڈے، نہ اس طرح کوئی کھیتی ہری بھری اجڑی، تمہاری مانگ بھی اجڑی ہے کوکھ بھی اجڑی، نہیں لعینوں میں انسان کوئی خدا حافظ، درندے اور یہ بے وارثی خدا حافظ، شریک حق درود و سلام پیغمبر، سلام سید لولاک کے لٹے گھر پر، سلام محسن اسلام خستہ تن لاشوں، سلام تم پہ شہیدوں کے بے کفن لاشوں، سلام تم پہ رسول و بطول کے پیارو، سلام مہر شہادت کے گرد سیارو، بچے تو اگلے برس ہم ہیں اور یہ غم پھر ہے، جو چل بسے تو یہ اپنا سلام آخر ہے، یا حسین
یا ویلا حسین وا ویلا حسین وا ویلا حسین